Um, can you give you a scenario? You got a 21-year-old that was doing good for a minute, but then got caught up with the wrong crowds, wrong friends, doing the wrong things, and actually loses himself, loses his job, and is just feeling like just lone and depressed. Can you give some suggestions on how he could take steps on recovering and bouncing back?
Okay. So honestly, I was in a pretty similar position to that scenario you just
Perfect.
named.
Yeah,
I was
perfect.
21 with the wrong people, doing the wrong shit, completely lost, and had no money, was broke, and just was completely like, what the fuck do I do with life? Like, I feel like I was on a path, bro, and then shit just like imploded in my face. It's like, all right, well, how do I deal with this? So the first thing was, again, kind of getting rid of the people that I was hanging out with that were not benefiting my life or not on the same level of commitment to getting to the goals that I had that I wanted. And I knew I always had that vision. And that's kind of the thing that's been my North Star, right? Like it's evolved over time. But I would say that for that dude that's depressed and anxious or maybe doesn't know what the fuck to do and their life is kind of falling apart, you need to build a vision of the future life that you want for yourself and use that as like, okay, you know, I have this vision and have a little bit of faith too. I don't know, it doesn't matter what like religion, you're spiritual, Christian,
Mm.
Muslim, whatever, it doesn't matter. But bro, having a little bit of something to power you when you're on those days where you just like, bro, you could just fucking end it. It's life sucks, everything's miserable. Bro, it happens to everybody. But when you're 21, some like I just remember being there. It wasn't that long ago. I'm about to be 25 now. So just like that period of time was hard, bro. It really felt hopeless. So you need something to kind of get you through that. Even though you might not see it manifest in your physical life right away, the hope and the vision of what your future could look like if you commit to yourself and to your goals, that's the thing that's going to push you forward. And that little bit of faith that you have secures that and strengthens that.
Mm.
So I would say, first thing for that dude is to find a vision, create the life that you actually want in your head. And a lot of times, what happens is once you build that vision, the roadmap becomes pretty clear. You're like, all right, I need money, I need experience, I need
Mm.
to do this, this thing needs to go, I need to set this up like this. Most people, bro, they know what they need to do if they want to get to the goals that they have. It's just a matter of executing on that and taking the action. So, the 21-year-old, dude, as much as it might hurt your ego, this is what I did. I got a job with my dad who did like construction work and I moved back home. It sucked, bro. It took a
Mm.
huge hit to my pride and my
Mm.
ego, but it was a period of time where I isolated myself from everything. I was completely alone, living at home, stacking bread, and just focusing completely on how do I build up my body? How do I build up my mind and my skill set? How do I learn how to make more money? And then using all of that stuff to actually do the things that I want to do and just take that period of time, withdraw from everything. I would say that to make it short and sweet to wrap it all up, the answer to that question is isolate yourself and figure the fuck out what you really want to do with your life
Mm.
and then come up with a vision, come up with a plan and make sacrifices. Be like, okay, I'm going to commit to this for the next 2 years, 3 years of my life. I
Mm.
don't care what it looks like tomorrow, 2 months from now, or a year from now. I know that if I stick with this thing, life will be better and life will be different in 2, 3 years' time and just lock in and isolate yourself. All of my growth as a person on like a self-improvement you
Mm.
know type of level has come from periods of me just being by myself, really locked in,
Mm.
focused on me, focused on my work. And so I think that's something that most guys at some point in their life, whether it be 17, 18, or 21, there's going to be that period where you kind of just need to do some figuring out of shit. And the easiest way to do that without outside influence and people spitting in your ear and like,
Mm.
oh, my friends want to do this and oh, this person thinks that. And bro, you got to be by yourself sometimes. And it's hard to do, but I think it's a necessary step in the
Okay.
path towards getting to where you want to go.
A quick question. I know that the person, like, obviously, you're speaking to the subs that you're speaking to. Somebody would respond with, how do they deal with feeling guilty, like isolating themselves and turning their back on friends and stuff like that? Like, how did you deal with that?
Hmm. All right. So really, it's like, do you want to feel guilty now or do you want to hate them later?
Mm. Okay. I like that.
If you stay, bro, you know what you're giving up. the future that you want is the price that you're paying to hang out with the people that you don't even want to be hanging out with anyways.
Okay.
And the truth is, bro, like, they might not even be your real friends in the first place. But the truth is, if you as soon as you have that thought of like, I don't know if these are the right people, as soon as you think that, dude, it's over, it's done. And if you continue to stay in that environment, you're lessening yourself, you're degrading yourself. And honestly, like I said, bro, you're just gonna hate them, you're gonna resent them, you're gonna be like, what the fuck am I doing here? And then at that point, you become a bad friend to them too. And it doesn't work, dude. Like,
Mm,
why put yourself through that? Why put them through that? It's better to just be honest with them and be like, yo, guys, I love you. You're my homies. We've been friends for years, but like, I can't co-sign, I can't fuck with the shit that we're still doing, that we've been doing, and it's not getting us anywhere. Like, I love you guys. It's not personal, but I need to take a little bit of time for me and see what I can do for me. And you know what? There might be dudes that are in that group that are like, yo, he's fucking right, man.
okay.
Or they've been thinking that too, and they're like, holy shit, like, okay, let's do it then. So I would still recommend kind of just being by yourself, but you might inspire the other dudes in that group to kind of take it serious too. So yeah, I think the biggest thing is like, if you just stay in that situation, you're only going to end up uncomfortable, miserable, pissed off, and resenting them. So it's just not worth it.
Okay.
That's when the bridges actually get burned.
Okay. I get what you're saying. So what about how would you say, I don't know if this happened to you, but how do you respond back to the people that feel like time went by, you got a gap in between because you need to work on yourself. Now they're seeing you self improve, your income's better and stuff like that, and they're trying to feel like you stepped away from them because you think you're better than them, like you're not their friend no more for some reason.
Um,
How did you deal
like,
with
how
anything
do
like
I
that?
address that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's been people that I've been friends with for a long time,
Did
and
did they
it doesn't
understand that you
necessarily mean
needed your
that.
time alone, or?
Yeah, actually, you know what? This is a really great. I can say this. I've had a buddy of mine that I grew up with, known for a very, very long time, and was kind of like a part of that core friend group that I had in like middle school, high school. Like, we were homies. We were the boys when we were like younger, growing up and stuff.
Mm,
And at one point, I had to separate myself from that group. It was immature, people wasting time doing shit that I knew wasn't going to benefit my life and go in the direction that I wanted to.
mhm,
And without really saying much, I kind of just removed myself from that situation and decided to focus on me. And like you said, a couple years later go by, and the results are in. And I've had one of my probably my best friend out of that group hit me up. He's like, "Yo, dude, I just wanted to say that, like, at the time I was like kind of mad and felt like you had just like left us and shit, but now I get it." Like,
mhm,
because he's trying to do the same thing for himself. And he's like,
okay.
"Dude, like, I want to apologize for me being a dick and maybe judging you and thinking that you were kind of just like being an ass and abandoning us, whatever. But now that I've taken myself and my self-improvement journey a little more serious, now that there's things that I want out of life that I'm not getting by being associated with that crowd." He's like, "Bro, I get it." So
Mm,
I just want to kind of like let you know that, no hard feelings, dude, and I understand now. And so, bro, everybody has everyone's on their own timing. Everyone's gonna, hopefully, most men at
mm,
least at one point are gonna have a purpose or a calling or something that they feel is, you know, lighting them up more than sitting around the bonfire with the boys drinking Bud Light or whatever the fuck you do. Like, so most guys will have that feeling at one point or another. Just as like, bro, everyone has that light bulb go off
mm,
at a different time.
yeah,
So
very true.
they'll come around to it eventually, you know?
Okay.